Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Mary Lee. Thank you for joining us. Coming up in today's show, a Taipei Tzu Chi Hospital doctor informs everyone of how to eat zongzi the healthy way. Continuing our report on Taiwan's anti-drug campaign, we learn about the life of a former drug addict and his journey to kicking his habit. And we join New York Tzu Chi volunteers in the United States as they receive recognition for all the good work they have done. The celebration of Dragon Boat Festival is not complete without its sticky rice dumplings, or zongzi. In Taiwan, Taoyuan County, Tzu Chi volunteers along with Tzu Chi's Police Welfare Association and family members of police officers are celebrating this major holiday by gathering at the local Jingzi Hall to make this yummy snack. And later, the snacks were distributed to police departments in Taoyuan as a big thank you. It's not yet noon and aromatic smells are already wafting from the kitchen. Everyone is busy, from washing bamboo leaves, ready ingredients, to the final step of putting together the zongzi. Today we have 1,500 of them to give to the Taoyuan County Police Departments, as well as the aviation police officers. We want to share our love.
一起来享用我们的爱心。包粽子原来也是这么，也是一门学问呢。对呀，也是要用心呐。
Some police officers take time to help before going off to work. With this being a first experience for many, it's difficult to get the size, shape, and fullness just right.
师兄姐常常告诉我们说。
Tzu Chi volunteers often tell us to cherish our blessings. I thought since there's an opportunity for me to contribute, as our fellow officers have been working so hard, I should not pass it up.
Tzu Chi volunteers' love and care continues year after year.
Thank you, Master Zheng Yan, for always thinking of us.
Meanwhile, in Taipei City's Zhongshan district, Tzu Chi volunteers take the opportunity to unite everyone's hearts with words of wisdom.
Tzu Chi has been a well of support for us, and many of my co-workers have joined the foundation, or will volunteer their time to do good deeds.
These little blessings enter each officer's heart to create a domino effect, leading to more charitable deeds. Glutinous rice dumplings' high oil content and calories are a worry for many health-conscious consumers. Yet, there is good news. Doctors say that if one consumes zongzi between 3 and 5:30 in the afternoon, one can lower the amount of fat and oil absorbed, and thus lessen the negative effects the food might have on your gastrointestinal tract.
Eating zongzi during Dragon Boat Festival has long been a tradition in Taiwan. However, health-conscious consumers have grown wary of consuming too much of this traditional food, as zongzi are high in fat and oil. However, by understanding the protein BMAL1 that is produced in the body, we can naturally reduce the amount of fat we absorb.
This protein is connected to our sleep patterns. It is most abundant between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m. and the lowest at 3 p.m. Its concentration is 20 times higher at its peak. This is the protein that turns the carbohydrates in rice and noodles into fat lipids. That conversion is at its lowest in the afternoon. If you eat zongzi at night, it is best to eat them before 5:30 p.m.
The accumulation of fat can not only lead to a variety of health problems, but fatty oils binds with toxins easily, leading to intestinal problems and an increased chance of colon cancer.
它可以溶在这个油脂里面哈，然后油脂吃到肠道里面，经过它分解哈。
The fat or grease we eat, when broken down in the GI tract, can produce toxins which will harm the intestinal mucosa. So we recommend eating vegetarian zongzi, which are much preferable to those with meat.
Colorectal cancer is currently the most common type cancer in Taiwan, with younger and younger people being diagnosed with the life-threatening condition. Since unhealthy eating and drinking habits are a major factor behind the onset of colorectal cancer, doctors recommend eating at the right times and trying to eat high fiber, low fat and low oil foods.
On the last day of the exhibition, celebrating the 47th anniversary of Tzu Chi volunteers in Taipei's Beitou district held a get-together to thank everyone involved in the exhibition. Thanks to the efforts and ingenuity of countless volunteers, the exhibition was perfect down to the smallest detail from day one.
To get the exhibition celebrating Tzu Chi's 47th anniversary ready, a host of problems and tasks need to be tackled. Volunteers from different backgrounds not only offered their time and effort, but also their professional expertise. The standalone panels helped open up the venue space and highlight the lush greenery outside.
The scenery outside is so beautiful, so this year we didn't hang any posters, but instead made these standalone panels that we placed inside the hall.
Those featured in the panels also made live appearances to discuss their experience with Tzu Chi.
PET bottles and paper don't look good when thrown away carelessly. When I see them, I pick them up and put them in a bag and take them home.
He is blind in his left eye, and his right eye is not far off from that. Despite this, he still comes to the recycling center every morning. It's like the master said, being blind in your eyes doesn't mean you are blind in your heart. It's truly moving to see him so committed to carrying forward his vow.
With the exhibition coming to an end on June 1st, volunteers make sticky rice balls to thank everyone's dedicated effort and to put a wonderful end to a successful exhibition run.
Drug or substance abuse not only harms our physical and mental well-being, but once addicted, it can ruin lives and any opportunity for a prosperous future. Today, we meet a former drug addict, Ke Jinpo, who lost 30 years of his life to drugs. Upon his release from prison, he was determined to start over and found new beginnings through his faith.
Lord, I thank you. I respectfully hand you all of my time today. Please safeguard me and watch over me. May I be showered in your love and shelter, and may your joy remain in my heart. In Jesus Christ's name I pray. Amen. I'm a counselor at the Christian Prison Fellowship, Taiwan. My name is Ke Jinpo. I counsel misguided youths who were once involved in drug abuse and committed felonies. This boy is only in junior high. His actions and who he is directly the result of his parents' influence.
As soon as I got to the police station, my father was already having his statement recorded. His hands were cuffed. Seeing my dad like that, seeing how he messed up, I thought to myself, if he can, then why can't I?
Our family used to live here. It's the second house through this alley. We used to pitch a stall here and sell noodles. When I left home, I got involved with drugs and broke the law. This used to be our back door. I would hide here and take drugs. I even had the syringes on me. I would pretend to be urinating and inject the drugs through here. Here in the alley, I felt like I was in darkness. Nobody could see me, and I didn't want anyone to know what I was doing. Once the drugs started to take effect, I went into a state of ecstasy. My whole body felt light and I could no longer walk. I could just crouch here for hours. Coming here reminds me of the past. Now that I want to enjoy a bowl of my mom's noodles, that opportunity is gone. When my mother passed away, my sister sent me a telegram to tell me. All I could do was cry. I wonder how my life got so messed up, and I was left with nothing. My mother went through a lot to raise me. She sold noodles on the side of the road to make ends meet. Now I don't have the chance to repay her selfless giving. I thought I would have the opportunity to make it up to her once I was released from prison, but it was all too late. How your actions were influenced by your parents. Let's put that aside now. Now we have to let them know that we have really changed.
I haven't been home for about 6 months now. When I see my dad, I want to tell him that although we both went down the wrong path, I have changed now, and I hope my dad can too. We can both start over. Dad, I'm home.
If you have children hitting puberty at home and you notice they cannot stand or sit straight, then perhaps a visit to the doctor is necessary, for they might be suffering from scoliosis. Doctors say 80% of scoliosis patients develop their condition as early as puberty. However, with proper treatment, 60% of them can be cured.
Look at this photo. He had to wear a metal brace. It was quite painful.
Peng Chunhua's son, Zhang Junbin, developed scoliosis while in first grade. At the time, his family found it difficult to accept the news.
The doctor told me he had scoliosis. The doctor then told me the surgery will have to wait till he's older. I said, couldn't we do it now? The doctor explained to me that at such a young age, the condition will reoccur even after surgery.
While awaiting surgery, Junbin could only wear a corrected brace, often 24 hours a day, to prevent his condition from worsening. For 7 years, his mother searched all over Taiwan for a qualified doctor to treat him. Finally, Peng Chunhua decided to leave it in the hands of Dr. Zheng Xiaozu of Taipei Tzu Hospital.
The condition is quite a burden to one so young, so we hope to come up with a method to provide patients with comfortable, effective, and safe treatments.
The wounds as the result of 2 major surgeries were quite extensive. However, the young Junbin recovered quickly. In 3 days, he could already get down and walk. He also grew from his original 144 centimeters in height to 154 centimeters.
I'm ecstatic. I no longer have to wear a brace and can walk normally like others. Thanks, Dr. Zheng.
As his stitches are removed, it means now Junbin will finally be able to start a new life, proud and tall.
In the United States, to ensure food safety during food distributions, Tzu Chi El Monte Liaison Office in California organized a food sanitation workshop to train volunteers. As well, an assessment management seminar was held where participants learned about donating their wealth to Tzu Chi as a way to spread their love throughout this world.
As long as you want to spread your love throughout this world, you can choose to donate your wealth to Tzu Chi after your passing.
Here at Tzu Chi El Monte Liaison Office, Tzu Chi U.S. headquarters organized an asset management seminar where an experienced financial planner instructed participants on how to better use their assets after they passed away.
Here, you can learn how to properly manage your assets. You can put some of your wealth to charity use. We need professionals' advice so that we can have a better understanding of what to do.
The seminar also invited a volunteer from Taiwan to share his experience with the participants about better ways to manage personal assets.
My grandmother taught us by example, as she didn't leave any inheritance to her children. She made the best use of her wealth.
Also at the El Monte Liaison office, a food sanitation workshop was held. Many volunteers joined together to gain a better understanding of food safety.
For the sake of public health, we organized this training workshop. As a sanitation service provider, I feel proud to be part of it.
From food safety to personnel training, Tzu Chi volunteers try their best to guarantee the quality of their service.
Helping these homeless people makes me happy. I'm glad to see they have something to eat.
I feel blessed and thankful to have an opportunity to take part in this event.
Listening to the lecture attentively as they write down notes, all participants devote their time and energy to the utmost as they expect to make more contributions in the days ahead.
The Tzu Chi annual board meeting concluded on Tuesday in Hualien, Taiwan. On the last day, volunteers from the United States took to the stage to share their progress. The volunteers are also working hard to translate Master Zhen Yan's teachings into English to help inspire more Americans to join the circle of love.
While recalling the 3-school reconstruction project in post-quake Haiti, many Tzu Chi volunteers become emotional. Despite the many obstacles, they finally accomplish their goal and deliver hope to the area.
You kept your promise.
Buddha is in my heart and the Master's will is my own. This is what I have accepted. So as the Master's disciples, we can only do the best we can and take on the work that needs to be done.
Wherever there are disasters, there will be Tzu Chi people. When Hurricane Sandy ravaged the United States in October of 2012, volunteers showed up with hot food, supplies, and love to help the storm victims stand up again.
We hope that in the face of terrible calamities such as these, Americans will come to realize the importance of helping one another.
I want to share the Master's Dharma with the rest of the English-speaking world.
To help more Americans understand Tzu Chi and its missions, volunteers in the U.S. are also working hard to translate Master Zhen Yan's teachings into English, while more Americans are also enrolling in volunteer training programs to walk the Tzu Chi path.
In the aftermath of Hurricane Sandy in 2012, more than 4,000 U.S. Tzu Chi volunteers were mobilized to provide emotional support, aid supplies, and cash cards to the disaster survivors. The volunteers' selfless dedication to those in need have won recognition from all levels of society. Next, let's take a look at the good work Tzu Chi volunteers have done and the awards they have received.
On October 29, 2012, Hurricane Sandy devastated the eastern United States. Soon after the disaster, more than 4,000 Tzu Chi volunteers were mobilized to join aid distributions, helping more than 18,000 households. The volunteers and the support was later recognized.
During the Tzu Chi Foundation, $10 million.
On April 23, 2013, New York State Assembly member Ruben Diaz proposed a bill to thank the Taiwanese government and organizations for their support in the aftermath of Hurricane Sandy.
Every time that we have a disaster or a tragedy, the Taiwanese people are the first one to stay present and to give us a hand. So thank you to all the Taiwanese people and to the Taiwan government for doing this.
Meanwhile, on April 24th, 6 Tzu Chi volunteers were invited to the White House in Washington, D.C. to receive the Champions of Change Award.
Well, good morning.
The award is to recognize 17 individuals for their selfless dedication after Hurricane Sandy devastated the eastern United States.
The Buddhist Tzu Chi Foundation has been selected as the 2013 National VOED Member of the Year.
On May 14, at the annual meeting of the National Voluntary Organization's Activity in Disaster, out of the 109 rescue organizations around the globe, Tzu Chi was selected for the 2013 Member of the Year award. Tzu was the first Asian organization to have ever received the award.
And so essentially, Tzu Chi's foundation's partners have come together, and they are the ones who decided to make this award.
I'm impressed how you have victims of the disaster actually donate, because then they can do something. They don't have to be in that victim role, and that will help them get better much faster.
As time passes, the love from Taiwan is being recognized by more and more around the globe.
In 2008, Typhoon Morakot devastated Taiwan. Back then, Tzu Chi volunteers used phrases from The Journey of Compassion by Master Zheng Yan to overcome the obstacles they faced. In 2012, Hurricane Sandy struck eastern United States, and local U.S. Tzu Chi volunteers also used the same wisdom to help hurricane survivors move on with their lives.
2013 Boston Marathon champion.
Hatred has caused unsettled hearts. Unpredictable natural disasters and accidents have overwhelmed everyone's hearts with fear. 2013 has not been a peaceful year for the United States. On October 29, 2012, Hurricane Sandy devastated New York City. Soon after, local city volunteers rushed to disaster sites to provide much-needed assistance and emotional support. On April 2013, to thank the Taiwanese government and Taiwanese organizations for their support following the disaster, Tzu Chi New York Chapter Director Zhang Jiduo was invited to lead a prayer before the start of a meeting of the New York State Senate.
We are joined today by Brother George Chang, the Executive Director.
This was also the first time Tzu Chi has led a Buddhist prayer inside the New York State Senate.
Mr. Zheng Yan's Dharma reminds us to work extra hard so the general public in the United States can wake up and its society will finally be at peace.
Let us pray.
On stage, Tzu Chi New York Chapter Director Zhang Jiduo recites a prayer in English and then read out phrases from The Journey of Compassion by Master Zheng Yan.
在苦难中常养慈悲，在变数中考验智慧。
In 2008, Typhoon Morakot devastated many parts of Taiwan. Back then, Tzu Chi volunteers used the phrases of The Journey of Compassion to encourage one another. In 2012, after Hurricane Sandy swept through the eastern United States, Tzu Chi volunteers once again used the wisdom to help Sandy survivors walk through their darkest times.
As a representative of the area, I can tell you how grateful people are to the foundation and to the Taiwan people for helping us. It's just incredible, incredible.
A little makes a big difference, and in your case, you made a big difference, and you continue to make a big difference, and I thank you.
Sincerely praying for a world free of disasters and sickness. At this moment, everyone is one big family. Tzu Chi volunteers also display photos of the disasters, hoping to remind everyone to always think good thoughts and do good deeds.
At the end of the show, we return to Taiwan and join Taichung Tzu Chi volunteers as they visit schools to hand out vegetarian zongzi to teachers and students. Volunteers also gave guardians an opportunity to serve tea to their teachers, where emotions of participants ran wild. We will leave you with these images. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.